Today we are going to be discussing county lines. Please make sure you have a pen and paper ready to make notes, as you will be asked to complete questions at the end of the video. What is county lines? County lines is a term that refers to organised illegal drug dealing networks, usually controlled by a person using a line, the phone line used to take the drug orders and make deliveries. County lines is a form of criminal exploitation in which criminals groom vulnerable people into storing and delivering drugs for them. County lines gangs operate outside of major UK cities such as London, Liverpool, Birmingham, Manchester, and they distribute illegal drugs across rural and suburban counties all over the UK via runners. Runners are usually the vulnerable people who get groomed into county lines by the criminals. These runners transport drugs and cash all over the country. This is so criminals behind it can remain more detached from the crime and are less likely to be detected. People targeted to be runners are usually young or disabled people who may be considered less suspicious by the criminals recruiting. In some cases, the victims are given a gift of some kind, so they owe the criminals something in return. Their job may start off as keeping watch, but escalates to stashing money, drugs or weapons and becoming drug couriers. Signs to look out for. County line operations can be hard to spot, but there are always signs that someone could be involved or are being groomed. Some signs may be unexplained injuries, multiple phones, change in behaviour, association with older individuals or gangs, unexplained bus or train tickets, unexplained gifts, for example, new items that they wouldn't normally be able to afford. County lines is often associated with other serious crimes such as sexual exploitation, violence, money laundering, and human trafficking. Vulnerable people can be used as mules by drug dealers to distribute the drugs, whilst vulnerable adults can find themselves cocooned, meaning their homes are overtaken and used for the purpose of drug storage and dealing. Recognising grooming. The grooming process is when criminals and gangs recruit vulnerable people to work for them. The process looks like seeking out a person to exploit, observing the person for vulnerabilities, discovering that person's wants and needs, manipulating the vulnerable individual into believing joining the gang will fulfill the wants and needs that they have. Once the gang have identified the vulnerable person, they will make contact in some way and the grooming process will begin. Some ways of starting contact could include offering the victim something they want or need, like money or drugs, as an exchange for keeping watch. This will then escalate into more serious offences. Grooming can take place online or in person. Social media profiles may be made to glamorise gang life and entice younger, more vulnerable victims in. Some people may be groomed via family members or friends. For example, if a relative or friend is already involved, they may be more susceptible to falling victim. Grooming and control. Grooming for county lines can take place anywhere at any time. However, the list below names places that have been identified as key places where county lines gangs target and approach vulnerable young people. Schools or sites for further education, special educational needs schools, foster homes, homeless shelters. Offenders use a variety of control mechanisms to ensure compliance of victims once they have been recruited. Debt bondage is a key technique which offenders use. Debts are inflated through supply of drugs and in some cases staged robberies against victims so it appears as if they have stolen goods and therefore are in debt. Threats of serious violence towards victims and their families/friends are also made to prevent victims from attempting to leave the network. Terminology to look out for. If someone you know uses these terms, it may mean they are involved in or have been exposed to the network of county lines. Going country. This term is often used to describe the act of travelling to another city or town to deliver drugs or money. Cocooning. This is when gangs take over a vulnerable person's home to store or sell drugs. Trapping. The act of selling drugs. Trap house. A building used as a base for drugs being sold or manufactured. A trap line. This is when someone owns a mobile phone specifically for the purpose of running and selling drugs. If you need support, we're here to help. Making sure you and the people you know are protected from county lines is vital. Use this video and the resources below to educate yourself and equip yourself with the appropriate tools so that you are less likely to fall victim to county lines gangs. Speak to your safeguarding lead. Speak with your safeguarding champion. The police. Visit the links below. In an emergency, always call 999. Thank you for watching.